Hello children, welcome to video classes, and I'm really happy that you're watching this video. And before further go, let's get started today's video class. And in the previous video we have discussed the classwork of the poem Brook, and even in this class let's continue the classwork. Okay children, and read to understand, we have already completed this particular read to understand in the previous video, and even I have given the answers. So I hope you all have written the classwork, and I hope you all are following the video classes and all. And then this, the reading comprehension also we have done. B, answer the following questions with a reference to the context. We have done it. We have already finished, and answers also we have discussed. And let's move on to the C. Okay, third main, answer these questions. And we have 5 questions, and I have given the 5 answers also. Let's have some discussion on these 5 questions and answers. And the first question is, how does the brook behave when it encounters curves along its banks? Isn't it children? I repeat the question, how does the brook behave when it encounters curves along its banks? Isn't it? Yes, how does the brook behave? What was the behaving of the brook when it was, crossing the curves and along with the banks, isn't it? And the answer is, the poet describes the brook as being annoyed, isn't it? Annoyed when it encounters curves along its banks, as a result of which it erodes them, isn't it children? And I repeat the question and answer, how does the brook behave when it encounters curves along its banks? And the answer is, the poet describes the brook as being annoyed when it encounters curves along its banks, as a result of which it erodes them, isn't it? And the second question is, make a list of the various places that fall in the path of the brook as it flows. I repeat the question, make a list of the various places that fall in the path of the brook as it flows. And the answer is, we have to mention the various places, isn't it? And the various places that fall in the path of the brook as it flows are houses of birds, small villages, farms, uncultivated lands, lawns, and grassy plots. Isn't it children? These are the places a poet mentioned in the Brook poem. And I repeat the answer. First, before repeating the answer, I should repeat the question. Let's repeat the question. Make a list of various places. Here, he's asking to mention the places, the various places when the brook was crossing different places. No, ma'am. Different places, no children. Yes, let's see the different places. The various places that fall in the path of the brook as it flows, or the places are house of birds, small villages, farms, uncultivated lands, lawns, and grassy plots. Yes, house of birds, small villages, farms, uncultivated lands, lawns, and grassy plots. And let's see the third question. What do you think causes that foamy flake as the brook flows? Isn't it? What do you think causes the foamy flake as the brook flows? That's brook children. Please correct it down. And the foamy flake is caused when the water moves in curves and strikes against stones. This flow of the brook makes the water swirl and form foams, isn't it? And I repeat the answer. The foamy flake is caused when the water moves in curves and strikes against stones, this flow of the brook makes the water swill and form foams. Isn't it, children? And the fourth question, what makes the brook sparkle? What makes the brook sparkle? Okay, and the answer is here, the sun's rays that shine on the surface of water makes the brook sparkle. As we know that, see, if we see the brook, if we see some river or the water, if a kind of sun rises, just touches the surface of the water, what will happen, children? Obviously, we can see a kind of spark, we can see a kind of a twinkle or something like that, isn't it? So this is here we discussing, isn't it? A kind of sparkles, twinkles, or something kind of strange colors we can see when the sun's ray touches the surface of the water. That is what we are describing. Yes, and I'll repeat the question, what makes the brook sparkle? Yes, obviously the sun's rays that shine on the surface of water makes the brook sparkle. Okay, clear? And the fifth question, what is the netted sunbeam? What makes it dance? What makes it dance? What is the netted sunbeam and what makes it dance? Very interesting question. Let's read the answer. The sun rays filtering through the leaves and bushes makes a net like pattern on the shadow water pools, isn't it? They are reflected on the surface of water and appear to be dancing as the water flows. So I repeat the answer. The sun rays filtering through the leaves and bushes makes a net like pattern on the shadows water pools. So if you observe the brook or the rivers, see, obviously the brook flows in between a kind of land, or we can find two sides, very long trees or a short trees, different kinds of weather, different kinds of natural things we could see that, and a lot of trees were there. So yes, the sun rays is just falling, and if the leaves, the sun rays just crossed the leaves of trees, and then the reflection of the trees, the reflection of the leaves, we can see on the surface of the water, so at that point of time we could find a kind of a net pattern on the shallows water pools, isn't it? So they are reflected on the surface of the water, obviously, right? So a kind of the netted shape, the netted pattern of the leaves of the sunbeam, we could find on the surface of the water, and appears to be dancing as the water flows, isn't it? Yes, this is a kind of answer, and I hope you all enjoyed the poem when we were reading the poem and when we were singing the poem, and everything. I really hope that you have enjoyed very much. So if you do have any kind of doubts in the poem, you can call me at any time, or please let me know. I will try to give the clarification to you, children. And yes, we have successfully completed our classwork as well. So please do finish the classwork as soon as possible that I could do. And yes, children, thank you very much for watching this video. We'll meet. Thank you so much.